Hello and welcome to this special edition, this special episode from the Wankhede Stadium. Didn't want to do it, didn't wish to do it uh, on a festive day, but thanks to India wilting yet again against New Zealand, this is an episode to try and dissect the events over the last week, if not the last 2.5 days, and possibly have a look at the future of the Indian Test team in particular. And to begin with, it was just yet another case of India putting up a sorry show against a clinical New Zealand. New Zealand yet again hardly put a foot wrong. They came to India fully prepared, not really high on confidence, but they backed their abilities. They outbowled India, they outbatted India, and as a result, if you look at the whole series as a whole, barring a few sessions here and there, it turned out to be a one-sided affair, something that Indian cricket had never witnessed so far. For the first time in India's 92-year-old Test history, playing at home in a series of 3 or more Test matches, India has ended up losing all the Test matches, and that obviously is going to spring up a lot of questions about the way ahead for India's Test team, especially considering the fact that two of your veteran spinners and two of your veteran batters have been outshone by their opponents. Let's talk about the bowlers first. We saw it in Pune. R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja were overshadowed by Mitchell Santner, Ajaz Patel, with Glenn Phillips in supporting role. Washington Sundar obviously has exceeded expectations after being blooded into the series midway through the series just before second test. In Mumbai, the veteran spinners put on a much better show, but it was kind of unsettling to see one of the three main spinners not being in full control. Perhaps that's a sign of things to come in the near future, with body not really helping the mind in many ways. And as for the batters, we know Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Both of them, their individual performance in Test cricket has been on a wane in the last few years. Virat did have an exceptional year in 2023, primarily due to that one big 100 on a docile track. But overall, if you see, Rohit and Virat haven't been at their best. When it came to these 5 Test matches at home, it was a horrific show. Rohit tallied 133 runs, Virat tallied 192 runs, and it reflected in the overall results of the team, especially in the New Zealand squad. In 3 weeks' time, rather in less than 3 weeks, India's Test team will be again out on park, that too at the Optus Stadium in Perth for the first of the 5 Test matches in Australia. And if New Zealand is an indication, it could well end up being a real long series for India with very little positives in offing. India has to make a drastic change, not just in terms of how they prepare for the series, but moreover, India's batters need to think differently. I doubt if this one-sided approach, this unilateral approach of playing ultra-aggressive cricket is taking them anywhere, because being one-dimensional is the last thing that is required in Test cricket. What you are saying, what you are practicing, you are not ending up preaching it out on the field. Head coach says that we have batters, or we should be able to adapt to situation and bat long if required. Rohit Sharma admitted that neither himself nor others in the team have been able to bat time in the New Zealand series, and if the same tale continues in 3 weeks in Perth, then it will be really difficult for India to come back. And for the next 2 months, Rohit and Virat are definitely going to be on trial as far as Test cricket is concerned. Yes, I repeat, I just told you their numbers, and more than numbers, they just don't look comfortable while being at the crease, at least in home conditions. As fans, you and I, we both will hope that they find their mojo in Australia. But as a journalist, for many of you, a cynical journalist, I am extremely doubtful whether either of them can actually turn the tide around in a drastic manner. In that case, Rohit being the captain may have slightly more leeway than Virat, but it's high time Virat, the batter, actually gets into his old times groove for his own sake and more importantly for the Indian Test team's requirements. If neither of them ends up having an exceptional series, India's dreams of retaining, India's hopes of winning a third consecutive Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia may end up going nowhere. The WTC dream is as good as being shattered, with India needing to win at least 3 and for a clear entry at least 4 test matches and not lose a test match in Australia. But WTC is a real long way to go. We'll keep talking about it in the days to come. For the time being, the onus is on India to utilize the next 3 weeks better and put on a show that will help fans start celebrating the festivities of Diwali a little too late. And if India can't get off to a half decent start in Australia, the festivities, let alone Diwali, even the Pongal festivities will be a long way away. That's all from me for now. See you around.